Now we're at our next stop, and our next stop is at the supermarket. This is where you buy your dry foods, and we chose a supermarket because you can find everything in one spot. And today we're at Jane Ann Supermarket in Medina. She's got a real array of goods. But I just wanted to tell you a little bit before we actually introduce what we're going to be talking about in particular, about what to do this season. This season, let's plan for what we want to spend. Christmas is only one day, New Year's another day. Let's not do more than our budget can allow us to do. So let's plan budget. For example, don't give gifts for giving's sake. Give thoughtful gifts. It doesn't have to be an expensive gift. A gift is anything you give to someone you love from your heart. It could be something that's small. Giving somebody a bag of rice. Giving somebody a couple of cans of tuna or something. That's as good a gift as anything else. You're giving it to them because you know they need it. And also, don't overcook at Christmas. People like I are guilty of that. You want the fish, you want the meat, you want the chicken, you want everything on the table that day. And at the end of the day, there's so much food to waste. Try to keep it simple. The best thing to do is cook for your family. If you want to invite people, by all means, you can do so. But just don't throw away food. It's criminal. I think it's all wrong.
Very Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Now, we're going to look at the cans first. Looking at cans, you want to see things that the condition of the can, packaging is very important. Whether it's the cans you're looking for, whether it's plastics or the rice, everything has to be intact. And then, especially with cans, you want to look for things that are not rusted. Because don't forget, when it starts rusting, the chemical seeps into the product and it gets poisonous. So you don't want to do that. Sometimes we have damaged cans. In fairness, damaged cans are actually not supposed to be used, but then in this part of the world, we do use them, so long as it has no rust on them. Now, you've got to wipe the top, because the reason you have got to wipe the top is if there's any dust or any substance which is unwholesome on top, once you open it, it actually contaminates the product that is inside the can. So you've got to make sure that you wash the can. Make sure that you're using a sharp object to open it. If it's a knife as people use in their homes, or as a tin cutter or a tin opener, make sure that it's clean. When you use it and you finish, make sure that you also wash it. Now, the thing about when open cans, the contents of open cans, is to ensure that you pour the contents off the can and discard of the can immediately. Because what happens is, if you leave the product in the can, it oxidizes and then it causes food poisoning. So as soon as you open any can, tomato paste, can of pilchards, mackerel, corned beef, milk, whatever you open, each time you open it, ensure that you pour the contents into a bowl or a container, plastic or glass, before you put it away in your fridge or before you preserve it. As I mentioned, packaging is everything. The packaging that has to be intact. If you put your hand around the bottle of oil and it's leaking, that means that there's a puncture somewhere. If something is coming out, then something is indeed going in. And then last but not least, the most important thing is to check your expiry dates. Retailers on the market at the moment are looking for a way to flog their stock, and a lot of them have expired stock. So make sure this Christmas you don't fall victim to that. Make sure you're checking your expiry dates before you're purchasing.
Very Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Here I'm at the frozen counter. Now, because of the power outages we've been having a lot these days, you've got to ensure that if you choose a supermarket and you want to buy frozen product from the supermarket, that they have a generator or they have a way of keeping their freezers working. Because one thing you have to realize is that when food is defrosted and then frozen again, bacteria builds in it. So you have to ensure that you're here, and that's what we're finding at Jane Ann. They've got freezers that are frozen. Their food looks properly, it's iced up, which means that they've got backup equipment that ensures that their freezers are running even when they don't have power. It's very, very important that you should do so. You have vegetables as well in the freezer. You can buy vegetables fresh, you can buy them frozen as well. So you have vegetables that are frozen, you have chips that are frozen, you have all meats, all manner of meat which are frozen. You have to ensure that if you're buying anything that is frozen, you're buying from a reputable source. Because with the power outages, there's a tendency that if it's not kept properly, the meats or whatever it is that you buy will develop some sort of bacteria. Standing at the fruit section, and I can see lovely yellow lemons. She's got lovely oranges, kiwi, pear, apples, She's got grapes, she's got plums, and guess what I found? Pomegranates. She even has pomegranates here in the stalls here. So I'm telling you, this is where you can come and get all the exotic fruit for this Christmas. Now we're going to move on to the vegetables. She's got all the greens you can imagine. All different kinds of cabbage and lettuce. What you should do this Christmas is go out of the ordinary. Go onto the net, get all kinds of different recipes. You can find everything with her here, Auntie Judy here. Pak choy is also Chinese. The Chinese use a lot of pak choy as well. And this is lettuce. Look at how fresh the lettuce is. You see how fresh her food is? Now the lettuce is very fresh. When you go and buy lettuce, make sure the lettuce is not wilted and it's just falling. The leaves are still very, very firm and very green. So she has that. There's still some more local fruit here which you can find. She's got lovely watermelon. She's got pawpaw, papaya. She's got mangoes. Mangoes have just started to come into season. So I can imagine you can do a wonderful fruit salad with all the different fruits you can find here at the market. She's got Ghanaian melons. I mean, we could find everything here. She's got cabbage, of course, potatoes. There's never a Christmas dinner without roast potatoes. So she's got roast potatoes, lovely roast potatoes. She's got red and white onions also available over here. She's got cabbage. She's got aubergine. You can find string beans. You can find the stringy types. Or you can find French beans. She's got them as well over here. Oh, and look at her tomatoes. Nice and firm tomatoes. These are plum tomatoes. We call them Navrongo tomatoes. They're a little expensive, but they're very good for your salad because they don't give off a lot of water when you prepare your salad with them. Cucumber. She's got green peppers. How do you look for a good green pepper? You've got to make sure that the green pepper is firm and it's green and it doesn't have any punctures on it because sometimes the worms eat into them. So you've got to make sure that she's got all of those. You can find pumpkin here as well if you want to make a pumpkin soup. They're very busy here and they will even get busier. I found beetroot in the back there. I mean, there's so much that you can find here for this Christmas. So when you're coming for your vegetables, for the freshness, make sure that they are not soft. Fresh vegetables are always hard and they must be uniform in color. If you're looking for onions even, make sure for potatoes, they must be firm. Because some potatoes you find they're a bit soft, the skins are wrinkly. You don't want those kinds of potatoes. You want to find potatoes that are really firm. Everything has to be firm. Make sure that it's not punctured because, of course, it's grown in sand. You will have things like worms going through it. You have to make sure that there are no holes in the vegetables because when you open them, you might find that they've got worms that are in there. So make sure that you're choosing them. But I can guarantee that if you come to Auntie Julie's next to Golden Tulip for your Christmas vegetable shopping, you're bound to find the best. This is from me to you at home. Welcome back to today's Women's Show. I'd like to acknowledge our sponsors once more. I know our lovely baby diapers, Queen's Pride Perfume Rice, and Nextsheen Hair Products. Now, in continuing our quest for what's good this Christmas, we are J Farmco. We come here to look for fresh meat and poultry for this season. And I've got with me Auntie Grace, who is a certified veterinary person here, and she's going to tell us what to look for when we come here, looking for our poultry and our
Very Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. The soap is a good one without anything.
Welcome to the show. Okay, now we're standing in front of a pen where we've got different kinds of birds here. Obviously inside the slaughterhouse you get meats and stuff that is brought to you for slaughtering. Now here it says very nicely point and kill. You know Ghanaians, we like to catch our fowl, kill our own fowl. I mean, not everybody goes in for dressed birds. So if we come in here, what are we supposed to look for?
Healthy animals.
Health.
The animals are healthy. This shows that it's healthy.
It has to be a nice red color. Okay.
And then when it's sick, you see that there's a dotted, and then this color change to white.
Okay. Okay, so that's one of the signs of looking. So it's from the coat that. Oh, hello.
Layers from this side.
And that's for the layers.
Yes.
Okay. So there's nothing. That's the only thing that we need to look out for. That's the comb of the layer. Now, earlier before we went on air, you explained to me we have the cockerels, then we have the hens. The hens that people prefer. You have layers. The layers are the hens, aren't they? And people prefer to use those for soup. Now, why do people prefer the cockerels? The cocks.
That's what
It's a personal preference. Okay, but those are like for soups and stuff. You can't really use them for stews. They're too tough.
yes,
It's tough.
and then you can make it.
Okay.
Okay, people use it. Some like the tough
The
ones.
taste of that. Okay. Now these are the what about with the broiler ones? These are the layers. What about the broiler ones?
Yeah, soft. They use it on cake.
Some of them barely have the comb. Is that the way they are?
This one they are normal because they are colored. Yes.
Okay. So these are all healthy.
This one when they are sick, you see them, they fall down their head. And then some also as if they are possible.
Wow.
They will raise their heads, they are thirsty and they want to eat.
Now I can see, okay, it just raised his head because I just saw a bear that had his head down. And they sleep like that. They sleep with their heads bent down, do they? Okay. That's why I was looking at it and saying, is that a healthy bird? You're checking for healthy birds. When you're buying them, they are chicks. Aren't they chicks when you buy them?
No,
They are not.
They grow it themselves. We went to the farm, the poultry farm, yesterday to buy them.
Oh, I see. Okay,
We don't rear
okay.
them.
You don't rear these. Okay, okay. So you've chosen. You've shown us how to choose healthy chicken. How do we choose healthy turkeys?
The turkeys to be the same as the layers.
Okay.
You see them, their comb, their face, you see the color. When they are sick, you see that they are dull. They even when you drag them, they won't even go. They will stay one place and then you know that this animal is sick.
People tend to like to buy animals that are dying or dead, thinking that once it's cooked, the disease is gone. Is that really the thing?
Normally they make their own choice. But the price, when it's like that, the price is low.
Yes.
So you prefer the.
Yeah.
Because
But I mean, in your professional advice, you think that's
It's
the
not
practice that
advisable.
should be done, to be carried out?
They shouldn't allow it.
Because some of
And
the
then
diseases actually can
affect
human beings. Okay.
And then you don't know the actual disease that
The animal is,
Kills, yeah.
yes, the animal is suffering. So we should try as much as possible and avoid dead or dying animals. Okay.
then
Now,
if you can prevent those killing outside, we don't know how we should go about it to stop them so that they all come to slaughterhouses, not even here, but other slaughterhouses.
because slaughterhouses have certification. They are certified.
And then
So
always the
there's a
veterinary-
veterinary person present at a slaughterhouse. So well, that's actually a good point. So that means for us, if we want to go to buy meat, we should buy them from reputable slaughterhouses because they are present. Veterinary officers are present and they have certified the meat. Thank you so much, Auntie Grace. Okay. And Merry Christmas, Auntie Grace. We're still at J Farmco and I'm now with Mr. Wilson. Hello, Mr. Wilson. How are you? Okay, now I wanted you to say, not everybody is going to come to a slaughterhouse. Some people will go to the grocery store where there are butcher counters and they want to buy their meat. Now you are going to advise us as to what to look for to make sure that the meat is fresh and wholesome.
Freshness, fresh meat or beef or even mutton
Yes.
should have that pinkish reddish color.
Okay.
If it's changing color to become too brownish or dark brown or if any signs of doing it means
It's not fresh.
the meat is going on.
Okay. And I think it's the same with chicken as well.
No, chicken is rather different. Chicken should be more
Whitish.
whitish because it's actually classified as a white meat. So it should be more whitish.
Now, I said this with your veterinary doctor earlier, where people have the habit of buying dead animals naturally because of poverty and ignorance as well. Now, if I was being sold a dead animal, what would it look like? If the bird was dead before it was slaughtered, what would it look like?
The meat will be more reddish. The skin will have spots of blood or red discoloration on the skin. There will be some patches of very dark and bloody
Bludgeoned,
patches,
like it's been bludgeoned.
So
Okay, so that shows that the animal was dead before it was actually slaughtered. Okay, now with meat, it's pink. Now, if I were to buy meat that was already dead before it's slaughtered, what would I find in that as well?
beef, you see that the color has gone up. Beef should look something like slightly pinkish to red color, and anything above that dark brown, gray.
That something happened before it was actually slaughtered.
Or the meat is cooked.
We want to thank you so much. I mean, your beds are beautiful. Now, as a point of interest, is this a broiler or a layer?
That's a broiler.
It's a broiler.
A very big broiler.
It's huge. I mean, and that's the thing about it. People tend to buy turkeys because they think it's so traditional to have turkeys. But you can actually have big chickens.
Yes, you can.
And you save more on buying the chickens than you do the turkeys. Anyways,
This will be sufficient for a
a family of
six.
six. You can eat as much and not have lots left over. Well, thank you very much, and we wish you Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
We hope you get business as J Farm.
Yeah, we hope.
Okay? All right, thanks. Well, viewers, we've come to the end of the show. I hope that our tips have been very, very helpful. This poor animal's last journey is to this abattoir, and so will many this Christmas. But the thing is that you must ensure that your meat is healthy. Take it to a local slaughterhouse. It doesn't necessarily have to be here, but to any local slaughterhouse to have it certified before you consume this Christmas. I'd like to leave you with a quote from Oren Arnold, and it's about Christmas gift suggestions. And he says, to your enemy, forgiveness; to an opponent, tolerance; to a friend, your heart; to a customer, service; to all, charity; to every child, a good example; to yourself, respect.